So where does the brand end and the brand ambassador begin? For more, we're joined live now from LA by Eric Schiffer. He is the chairman and CEO of Patriarch Equity. He's also a chairman of Reputation Management Consultants, knows a lot about how to manage these brands. Eric, let me get to this, your grade on Subway versus Macy's. How do you think they did?
Well, look, I think, Jessica, Subway has failed in a huge way. I mean, they could have done a tremendous amount.
Just cut their losses as soon as there's some smoke, there might be fire?
I think they failed. I think they should have done the homework and checked this guy out a long time ago. There was history about this guy and being involved in trading pornography, even in college. So they didn't do the background that they should have done. With respect to Macy's, I think they actually made a mistake in getting rid of Trump. It hurt him with a huge base of people that are supporting him versus another side that frankly had forgotten about it over a short period of time.
So give us just a quick thought on this. How long does it really take for negative press to impact a firm's bottom line? Virtually immediate?
It can be immediate, instantaneous, depending upon the brand and depending upon the story, but that's the world we live in. It's immediate. It can trigger tremendous losses, disastrous losses, in some cases put companies out of business. And so it's really important that you know how to manage your brand within social media, within the hyper-vigilant media environment that we live in, where cycles are happening, 2-3 news cycles are happening a day.
No time to react. So if you do have a blunder and you're advising this person, what do you tell them if their spokesperson has already made a major, let's say, blunder on Twitter?
I think it really depends. So if you have a blunder and the facts are on your side, then you certainly want to get it out. I think that to the extent that the facts aren't on your side, you want to find a way to take responsibility for it. Transparency is always the way to go with brands, and certainly covering it up is never the way to go. So we coach our companies that we're consulting with to really look at what are the facts, taking responsibility, asking for forgiveness where it may be where you may be guilty. Yeah, you got to own it. And people will forgive. But if you try to push it aside, if you try to obfuscate, if you try to pretend that it doesn't exist, it can blow up in your face.
Seems to me, I mentioned Twitter. It's a virtual minefield now for companies. They've got to manage brand on so many additional levels than they did before. Talk about that strategy and how it's changed.
Well, look, in the past, like you said, I mean, you could just get by managing 1 or 2 major press outlets, or whether it's TV or newspapers. Now you've got Twitter, you have Facebook, you have Periscope, which is live video. So it's important that you have the right staff that is with you, that understands how this medium works and also understands what's inbounds and what's not inbounds. And frankly, again, it comes down to basic common sense. What are the things that, from a human communication standpoint, matters? Integrity. It really comes down to principles and making sure that you're upholding those principles in a respectful way.
We were just seeing pictures of Coca-Cola live on our air, and that reminds me of the 1980s when they tried to roll out new Coke, and it failed miserably, but still got them a lot of press. So there is a way to turn these things around.
There is a way to turn these things around. But it requires the right strategy. And again, there's not one way to do it. There are many different ways. And again, you take in the facts, you allow certain principles to go into play, and then it's just basic good communication.
Eric, real quickly, are companies better off with or without a high-profile spokesperson, I should say?
Absolutely with a high-profile spokesperson, because if you go through a problem, this is someone who can certainly still attract the media so that you can shape the story. You can get back in front.
Gotcha. Thank you so much for your time, Eric Schiffer. That's all the time we have for that conversation. Eric Schiffer joining us from LA.